Abaddon and Vashtor sitting in a tree. Plotting. Is plotted? I don't know. Is it?
I think it's 2 T's.
Then go check it, because I don't know. I think it's 2 T's. Arks of Omen Abaddon is volume 1 of a 5-book series of narrative, campaign, quasi-rules, story the Games Workshop is putting out that deals with a big, mysterious plot so far of the Grand War Master of Chaos, Abaddon, and he's up to no good and has a new plan to shake the Imperium to its core. Half of this book is narrative. There's a good 30 pages just of story. Again, this is book 1 of a series of 5, so don't expect any conclusions in this book. This book is going to be a whole lot of just setup. The main plot of volume 1 consists of Abaddon hanging out like he always does. He is met by a new power of chaos that we have not seen before, Vashtor, the Archifane. Vashtor is a really interesting figure who I think is clearly being set up to be a big important part of 40k in the future. Everyone has seen Vashtor's new miniature, but in this book we find out Vashtor is not a demon prince. He is actually something more powerful than, say, Be'lakor, but not as powerful as the 4 chaos gods. Vashtor the Archifane is the warp manifestation of the warp and its corruption and use of technology. He is effectively a minor demigod by the Dark Mechanicus, and his main kind of area of power in the warp and chaos is he's the guy who's responsible for the creation and the care and feeding and everything having to do with demon engines. Anything having to do with the warp and machines, it's him. But he wants to be the 5th chaos god and kind of elbow his way in here. So what he and Abaddon are doing is they're gathering together a fleet of space hulks. They're sending them all out across the Imperium to raid various worlds to collect artifacts that are all being sent back to Vashtor and Abaddon, who are going to use them to assemble something called the Key that is going to serve some nefarious purpose in future editions. And slowly but surely, this plan is working. This appears to be the big overall arcing story of this whole campaign, is he's going to team up with Abaddon to bring the Imperium to its knees, which Abaddon is all in favor of, but most importantly for him, rise up and be that 5th chaos god. Arks of Omen has a whole set of rules for playing onboard spaceships, effectively boarding actions. It's the type of rules that anyone who's been playing 40k long enough, it's a very common kind of a intersection of kind of narrative desires. The core rules of 40k don't particularly do it really well, so, which is, hey, what if we have a game and we're fighting like on board a spaceship, or we're fighting in the sewers or catacombs or something underground, any kind of effectively fighting in a labyrinth. The new rules section is called boarding actions, and it consists of a fully fledged section of rules that, again, it covers everything: how you move, how you shoot, how you do line of sight, how objectives work. It is everything you need to play entire start to finish games set on board spaceships in tight confined areas, underground, things like that. New detachment, way of building armies to work for these types of games, and you also get a full 6 missions for these types of games. Whether you want to take these rules and put them in match play, or whether you want to run a narrative campaign, or whether you just want to make a whole, a tournament event, or at your local store and be like, we're just going to do one weekend and just play boarding action games, now you can do it. There are some things in this book that are setting up stuff in the future that I think we're going to see coming down the pipe. Number 1, Vashtor himself. I think Vashtor and the way he is described, and as this kind of rising 5th power of chaos and being all associated with demon engines, this feels like a setup for something that is going to be part of a future Dark Mechanicus army. I would not be surprised to see him as basically the big bad or the center of a future faction that is kind of based on Dark Mechanicus. Number 2, there's another real interesting mystery in this book. There is a section we know already that in future volumes of this book, we're going to start seeing other factions are going to get involved in the Arks of Omen campaign. One of those factions is the Tal. Another one of those factions supposedly is Commander Dante. And Commander Dante has a little page of fluff in here where he boards one of these Arks of Omen. By the time the Blood Angels get to it, it's already been attacked by some other mysterious force and is dead. But the strange part, and the kind of one of the big mysteries of this, that Ark of Omen is full of a bunch of dead Chaos Marines and dried out plant-like matter of unknown origin. That seems to me like there's a potential that there's a new faction coming for Warhammer 40,000, or could in the future. It is too specific and overt of a reference. So they're going to do something with that. This is a book that is custom made. If you're the kind of person who really likes to be doing narrative campaigns, you have any interest at all, playing in tight corridors, doing boarding actions, doing underground campaigns, all that kind of stuff, all the rules you need are in here. From a lore point of view, if you're a completist and you're going to be buying the full set anyway to find out what is this mystery and what is going to be going on with these Arks of Omen and what Abaddon and Vashtor have in plan for the Imperium, you'll want all the detail, and there is a lot of it. There's a good 30 pages of lore in this book. I'm Larry from Bowles. Thanks for watching. And if you want to find out everything you ever wanted to know about the War Master, go check out this video about Abaddon over at Lexicanum. Have a good one.